welcome back to Sports the NEMO Way, the Houston Astros episode. So, as you can imagine, we're going to talk about the Houston Astros Mount Rushmore, 4 greatest players in franchise history. But unfortunately, we're going to do our second ever 3-man episode.
Skeleton Crew.
That's true. Me, Uncle Doug, and Ray are here. No Drew and no Wade. Yep. But we've done this to ourselves. We've talked about this like 3 episodes in a row. We backed ourselves into a corner recording-wise, and now we're going to have to do what we got to do to get ourselves out of this hole. But we're getting episodes in, so that's the most important thing.
And if you compare this to a crew on a ship, we got Alex as the captain, we got Doug as a shipmate, and you got Ray and a life preserver in the water.
So, all right, Uncle Doug, who is your number 4 Astros Mount Rushmore member?
My number 4 is Lance Berkman.
I like Lance Berkman.
Too, which influenced my choice.
Hey, Doug, will you check your mic and see if it's on?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Lance Berkman. Lance is 6-time All-Star. He got a World Series, but that was with the Cardinals, not with the Astros. With the Astros, he batted .296, 326 home runs, 1,090 RBIs, and 1,648 hits.
By the way, I just want to point out that Lance Berkman has like 20 more WAR than Juan Gonzalez. You want to explain that to me?
Really?
Yeah.
And Juan's got 2 MVPs.
Yeah. I
Alex,
like Lance Berkman. This is not an knock on Lance Berkman. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great player, but, I mean, didn't have 2 MVPs.
Alex, you didn't have him?
No.
Okay, me and Doug got him then.
And Drew.
Oh, Andrew?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wade doesn't have him either.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we got 3 here.
So.
Yeah, Berkman was a guy, when he was younger, did have some versatility. He played all over the outfield, played some first base. He ended up settling at first base. He lost his athleticism, but he used to play quite a bit in the outfield when he first came up. The Killer Bees.
Yeah. But the Killer Bees I remember was Biggio, Bagwell, and Bell.
Beltran.
I thought there was a Bell on there.
No, that was when they were making those playoff runs. They ended up playing the Cardinals in the NLCS.
Huh.
We had some battles there
Yeah.
for a while, a couple of years.
And Pujols broke Brad Lidge.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else to say on old Berkman before we move on?
I just always liked Lance, so.
All right. Well, I guess was that your 4?
It was.
All right. Well, I guess that's to me. My number 4 is Jose Altuve. He's also Wade's number 4.
Yeah, and Drew and I don't have him.
I don't blame you. I can't stand Altuve. Prick.
Yeah, that was, like I said, when I made my comment earlier that I really like Lance Berkman, and I thought that affected my. This is why, because Altuve is the one I thought about, but it's like, I like Berkman a lot better, and Berkman didn't cheat.
It's true.
That I know of.
Yeah, Altuve has an MVP. He's an 8-time All-Star. He's got 2 World Series, a Gold Glove. He's a 6-time Silver Slugger, 3 batting titles, an ALCS MVP. All while playing second base. To be honest with you, unfortunately, Altuve may end up right there in the conversation for greatest second baseman of all time.
He may. I mean, he's got the numbers. I mean,
Yeah.
they are really good. I can't argue that.
I mean, he spent his entire career in Houston, 14 years at this point. Oh, that's not true. Oh, it is true. I was going to say, I saw the AL-NL breakdown, but that's because the team moved. He played all 14 years in Houston. He's hit 222 home runs with 784 RBIs while hitting 307, 367, 407 for an 834 OPS for his career. Like I said, he had an MVP season where he batted 346, but that's also the season that he got caught cheating.
Right.
And we're talking about steroids here. We're talking about the telling the video cameras and the trash can and the buzzer all telling them which pitches were coming.
Yeah.
Which is, to be honest with you, is probably a bigger advantage than steroids.
Yeah. I mean, if you know what pitch is coming and you're a good baseball player,
Yeah.
that's
So I'm guessing he was on a cheating World Series team.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Now he has since won a World Series after they got busted for that.
Right.
But that first World Series is definitely tarnished.
Yes.
And it was, to me, it's on the level of Spygate because the commissioner cut, like, the players got away with it.
Right. Yeah.
And nothing happened to them. They didn't get a single punishment.
No.
They punished the manager, the coaching staff, the general manager, the owner,
Right.
and all the players got off scot-free.
Yeah. And the commissioner has since said the biggest regret he has during his tenure is not punishing the Astros.
Yeah. And then you have, the Dodgers fans are pissed because they lost in the World Series.
Yeah.
Yankees fans are pissed because they lost in the ALCS.
And rightfully so.
Yeah. And they're like, and Aaron Judge came in second in the MVP voting that year. And he's like, oh, you robbed me of an MVP?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a coincidence. Like, everybody's like, oh, fans need to let this go. Fans need to let this go. Fans aren't the only one that need to let it go.
Right.
There's a lot of players in Major League Baseball that, if it gets brought up, still get mad. And by the way, it's not a coincidence that Rob Manfred had to threaten the players around Major League Baseball to stop beaning them.
Yeah. Because they were definitely the most hit team.
Well, in spring training, they were beating Altuve like every time up to the plate.
Yeah.
Like, and Rob Manfred had to step in and be like, I'm going to start giving out like 50-game suspensions for hitting these guys. Like, if you guys don't stop.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just a fan thing. Players
Right.
were pissed.
And, Manfred definitely screwed up. He could have diffused a lot of that if he'd have stepped in.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't. And,
But he made it worse.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
If they'd have gotten a hefty punishment, I think it would have gone away.
Right.
But since they got off scot-free, and the fact that Carlos Correa kept coming out publicly and telling us we need to get over it and it's not a big deal, it also was like, dude, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, at least Altuve was like would just shut up and not talk.
Right. He just didn't say anything.
Yeah, but Correa just kept coming out and telling us, like, oh, get over it, blah, blah, it's over now, like, duh, and like, what? Like,
Well, it's like, okay, dude, how about this next year? Every other team gets to know what your pitches are.
yeah.
See how you like it.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, I think we just bashed on Altuve for 5 minutes, but
He'll get over it.
He's still a good player, but I don't like that whole cheating thing.
mm-hmm. He does have 2,100 hits so far in his career. Like Wade said earlier last episode about Michael Young. If he plays another 7 years, like some of these all-time greats did, played 20 seasons or whatever, he could challenge for 3,000 hits.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. Well, anything else to add on old Altuve?
No, that's about it.
Well, Ray, you're the only one we haven't gone to yet. Who's your 3?
Jose Cruz.
Jose Cruz, huh? I do not have Jose Cruz.
No, I looked at Jose, but I don't have him either.
Jose Cruz. I didn't see that one coming. What are you going to tell us about old Jose? Well, he has about the same number of hits as Altuve.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see here. He's a 2-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger, 2,251 hits, 165 home runs with a 284 batting average. His longest tenure is in Houston with 13 years. He also played in the Lou for 5, and he was a pinstriping butt sniffer in New York for a year. So it brings it up to 19 years total. But yeah, I don't know really why I picked him. Guess I kind of just rounded out the list. But he's an older guy. Let's see when he was drafted.
I don't see his draft on here.
Debuted in 1970.
Yeah, he debuted in '70, but I don't see his draft. Was he not
Yeah.
drafted? Since he came out of Puerto Rico, maybe he didn't get
Maybe.
drafted.
Probably just picked him up. Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else
Yeah.
on Jose Cruz before we move on?
No. So there's your random pick of the night.
And Uncle Doug, who's your 3?
My 3 is Nolan Ryan, and it's also Drew's.
Well, he's my number 1, and he's Wade's number 2.
Okay.
Right?
Nolan Ryan?
Yeah.
No.
What? You put Jose Cruz on? You left Nolan Ryan off? Oh boy.
Yeah, we're gonna see how this goes, aren't we?
Uncle Doug, you want to tell us a little about Nolan Ryan?
Yeah. Of course, he's in the Hall of Fame. With Houston, he was 106 and 94, 3.13 ERA, almost 1,900 strikeouts, 38 complete games, 2 ERA titles, and in 1981 he had an ERA of 1.69.
This is his longest stop
Yeah.
in 9 years.
And I mean, Nolan is just an amazing pitcher. Just unbelievably durable, and he was with teams that didn't always give him run support, so his win totals, like 106 and 94, but had he been with a team that scored more runs, the way he was pitching could have been fantastic.
Well, the year you're talking about where he had a 1.69 ERA, he won 11-5.
Yeah, I mean, somebody that has that kind of ERA should have, yeah.
No, I mean, I feel like this is the 3rd episode we've talked about Nolan Ryan. I don't want to beat a dead horse. Like, people know who he
Yeah.
is, what he's about, how great he is. But yeah, Nolan Ryan, this is his longest stop, and so I felt like he needed to be here.
Yeah, that's me too.
Which would be his second team if
Right.
he ends up doing this, which would be max him out.
Yeah,
That's why we kind of all left him off our Rangers list, I
Yeah.
think.
exactly. We talked about him quite a bit in
We
the
did,
Rangers
yes.
episode. So refer back to that for the stories.
All right. Well, Ray, you already did your 3, right?
Yeah.
And that was your 3?
Yep.
Well, my 3 is Craig Biggio.
He's my number 2.
Okay, and he's Wade's number 3 as well.
And he's Drew's number 2.
He's my number 2.
All right, so Biggio's in.
Yeah, Biggio's unanimous, which I kind of expected.
Yeah, I did too.
Craig Biggio and one other guy we haven't talked about yet were the faces of the Astros for majority of my life.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's a 7-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glove, and 5-time Silver Slugger. Most of my life, he played second base. Crazily enough, he also played center field and catcher. He came up as a catcher. Yeah, think about that. How many guys do you say, hey, he came up as a catcher, but then he played center field?
Yeah. I mean, you remember seeing Biggio, you don't picture him as a catcher.
No, not at all.
No, this is the guy that looked like he sat on a bucket when he hit, right? Or is that the other
that's
guy?
another guy.
Okay.
I mean, Biggio looks like build-wise like me.
Yeah.
He's not a big guy.
No.
But Biggio is, I would say, one of the greatest second basemen of all time. He's in the 3,000 hit club. He batted .281 in his career. He had 291 home runs, 1,175 RBIs. He stole 414 bases. Just a nice, really solid player for a lot of years at second base. He played his entire 20 years in Houston. He led the league in runs twice, led the league in doubles 3 times, led the league in steals once. Like I said, a versatile player. Had a 3 top 10 MVP finishes. He was a guy that did a little bit of everything. He was a good defender, a la the Gold Gloves. He hit for average. He would hit you some home runs. He had quite a few seasons of 20 home runs. He stole bases. Just did a little bit of everything for you. And as far as I'm concerned, he's one of the greatest Astros of all time.
Oh, definitely.
And his son plays in the majors right now. Gavin Biggio. Isn't that right, Gavin Biggio? I think that's right. Or is it Kevin Biggio? I don't know. Something.
Cavan.
Yeah.
Cavan?
Cavan Biggio, yeah.
Craig and Cavan.
Second baseman, right fielder, and third baseman.
I think he just signed with the Dodgers just a
Yep.
couple weeks ago. He's been in Toronto for a while.
Oh, that sucks. Where does Toronto go for spring training?
I have no idea. Almost everybody is in either Florida, Texas, or Arizona,
Yeah.
but I don't know. All right. Well, does anybody else have anything to add on Biggio before we move on?
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, does anybody have more than one player left?
No.
Nope.
So we're all waiting on Jeff Bagwell.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody has Bagwell then.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's in.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I think a well-deserved in there. I always like Jeff Bagwell, as Ray mentioned earlier, with his weird batting stance where he would look like he was squatting over a bucket.
I gotta take a dump.
He's a Hall of Famer. He won an MVP. He won a Rookie of the Year. He's a 4-time All-Star. He won a Gold Glove, 3-time Silver Slugger. Which I know those awards don't sound like a ton, but this is a first baseman that was going up against Frank Thomas and Jim Tomei for a lot of those things.
Yeah.
And then later in his career, Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
So I don't know that he was going to win a ton of awards at first base. But he played his entire 15-year career in Houston. I think he would have been able to. I think he would have continued to play because he was still a quality player, but he got arthritis in his hands and was having trouble gripping the bat, so he had to give it up.
And this was the killer bees I was talking about earlier. Biggio, Bagwell, and Bell.
I think Beltran.
Beltran?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm pretty sure it was somebody named Bell. I'll get back to you. I'm gonna look at
In his MVP season, he batted .368, .451, .750 for a 1201 OPS while hitting 39 home runs and 116 RBIs. He also stole 15 bags that year. It's good. It's a really nice season.
Yeah.
He led the league in runs 3 times, doubles once, RBIs once, walks once. He led the league in slugging percentage once and OPS once. We mentioned his MVP season. He also has a second place finish and a third place finish, an MVP, another top, and then 3 more top 10 finishes in the MVP voting. So Jeff Bagwell had himself a really nice career, and like I said, him and Craig Biggio were the faces of the franchise for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest with you, a guy that probably wasn't list worthy, maybe because of Nolan Ryan, but was also there with them for a long time and did a lot of good for that franchise, was Roy Oswalt.
Yeah, I looked at Roy. And he was pretty impressive, but you can't pass up Nolan Ryan.
Right.
it. And Derek Bell was the guy I was thinking of.
Derek Bell. I don't know who Derek Bell is.
That's the guy I always thought of. It was Bagwell, Biggio, and Bell. Those are always the 3 guys I remember.
I looked this guy up. You said Derek?
Yeah, Derek Bell. Pretty
Played
sure
with
he's
the
an
Astros from 95 to 99.
he was an African American fellow, I think.
Appears so, yes.
You got Biggio, Bagwell. Because I just put in Killer Bees. It says group of Houston Astro players in the 1990s, and it says Biggio, Bagwell, Bell, Barry, Berkman.
Berkman didn't play in the 90s.
Started in 99. Is why I think they did that.
Well,
I got Alex thrown off over there.
I do. I mean, there's nothing in Derek Bell's career here that I would describe as killer, but we'll go with it.
I don't know what it is. It just I remember watching the few Astro games that was on, and it would be Biggio, Bagwell, and then Bell, and that's all I remember. I don't really remember anybody else on the team.
You're obviously not wrong.
Yeah.
but-
Okay, here you go. The history of the thing. The name Killer Bees was first used on March 31st, 1996, and it referenced Jeff Bagwell, Craig Biggio, Sean Barry, and Derek Bell. It said the name carried on for several years, even after Barry and Bell's departure, coinciding with Lance Berkman's arrival in 99. So Bell left, I think, in 98 was his last year, and Berkman came in 99, and the Bees just continued.
Okay.
So, yeah, the first time it was used, it was Bagwell, Biggio, Barry, and Bell.
Who's
I don't remember the Sean Barry either.
I don't know him either.
Yeah.
But, yeah, interesting. When I think Killer Bees, I always just think Bagwell and Biggio.
The random shit I remember.
Hey?
Although Derek Bell won a World Series with Toronto in '92.
Maybe that's why they call it the Killer Bees off an other year namesakes, maybe.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. So we got 6 guys, 2 of which are already in Bagwell and Biggio. Then we have Nolan Ryan with 4 votes, and then we've got a 1, a 2, and a 3. So we've got some work to do, but we do have 2 guys already in. 2 deserving guys as far as I'm
Yes.
concerned.
I agree.
Let's see.
Well, Ray, how you feel about that Jose Cruz fella?
I know, that's what I'm trying to think. Who do I want to throw him to? Do I want to just give it to Nolan Ryan? Or do I want to make Nolan Ryan work? Let's see, I've got Berkman. Yeah, I'll go ahead and throw him on Ryan.
So that gives us 3 guys then with Nolan Ryan. And now we have 2 guys for 1 spot, Lance Berkman and Jose Altuve. So it's Wade and I that have Altuve,
Yeah.
and Wade's not here.
And Drew's not here for the Berkman.
So
He's
2 to
one
1.
of the Berkman votes.
Well, I'll be honest with you guys. I hate Jose Altuve, so I'm okay coming off and going to Berkman just
Wow.
just to stick it to Altuve.
Well, Roger
That
that.
works for me. Yeah.
Sorry,
All right.
Wade. You're gonna be surprised when you listen to this episode.
Yep. Sorry, Waster.
'Cause that was the last thing he told me when he gave me his list is fight hard for Altuve.
Doing your job well.
Now, when we talked about Altuve, we gave him his props.
Kind of.
As shitty as they were, I mean,
But yeah, I like. Well, and, if you're talking about the Killer Bees, Berkman was one of the Killer Bees.
yeah,
so,
that's true. Yeah.
and
So, I mean, we got Killer Bees and a Nolan.
so he needs to be in there with Bagwell and Biggio.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, I think that gets us to our final list, which is Lance Berkman, Nolan Ryan. I almost said Kevin. It is. The hell's Biggio's? Craig Biggio. Thanks. Jeez Louise. And Jeff Bagwell is our 4 Astros.
And not to be confused with Buff Bagwell from the WCW.
And that will wrap up our Mount Rushmore portion of this episode and head us into MVP talk. And that this year will be 1983. We haven't had a lot of 80s, have we?
No, I don't think so.
1983 MLB MVP, and we, as usual, will start with the AL, which is none other than Cal Ripken Jr. Somebody we've talked about quite a bit on this podcast. Somebody that made our all-time shortstop list as, I believe, the greatest shortstop of all time. Is that correct?
Hmm.
Did we put him on there?
I'd have to look back. I know he was way up there, but
'Cause I know we bashed on him a lot for a lot of different things.
Well, I think we bagged on him for, keeping his streak alive when he was not good enough to really be playing anymore. But I mean, he was really good when he was younger.
Oh yeah, he was.
But Cal Ripken Jr. in this year was obviously playing in Baltimore, where he played his whole career. He led the league in WAR. He scored 121 runs, which led the league. He led the league with 211 hits. He had 27 home runs, 102 RBIs. He hit 318, 371, 517 for an 888 OPS while playing shortstop.
Okay.
By the way, this is a very close vote. And second place is none other than his teammate, Eddie Murray, who played first base for the Baltimore Orioles, who scored 115 runs, had 178 hits, hit 33 home runs, 111 RBIs. He hit 306, 393, 538 for a 930 OPS.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then in third place was Carlton Fisk, who at this point in his career was playing for the White Sox, as a catcher, obviously. He scored 85 runs, had 141 hits, 26 home runs, 86 RBI, hit 289, 355, 518 for an 874 OPS.
Okay.
Jim Rice in Boston scored 90 runs, had 191 hits, led the league with 39 home runs, led the league with 126 RBIs, hit 305, 361, 550 for a 911 OPS.
Okay.
Drop down the list a little bit and take a look at Wade Boggs.
Indeed, Wade Boggs came in 12th place. He scored 100 runs, had 210 hits, 5 home runs, and 74 RBIs. He led the league with a 361 batting average. He also led the league with a 444 on-base percentage, and although he had a really crappy slugging percentage at 486, but it comes out to a 931 OPS, which is higher than everybody we just talked about.
Yeah, but it's not who led the league. I don't see it on the list.
The league leaders didn't make the top 27.
Huh.
Okay.
I guess we can Google that. This is 1983. 1983 OPS leader. Well, it didn't give me a name. I gotta click on this. Sorry, everybody. I'm sure this is good podcasting. Where the hell is OPS? There it is. George Brett.
Oh.
At 947, so not much higher than Boggs, really. Boggs had himself a season there.
He did.
I mean, the home runs are obviously low. He never hit much home runs.
No. But I'm guessing Boston must not have been very good that year. Is that why he's so far down the list? Because with a season like he had, I would have thought he'd been a little higher than 12th or whatever.
It was only his second year in the league. They were 78 and 84.
Oh, okay.
Although Jim Rice came in 4th.
Yeah.
They must not have been able to pitch. Speaking of pitchers, Dan Quisenberry had 45 saves and a 1.94 ERA. Lamar Hoyt had 24 wins with a 3.66 ERA. None of the pitchers really had an overpowering season, really.
Say, Ricky Henderson stole 108 bases.
He did indeed. He led the league in steals and walks. Interesting.
But yeah, very close race here.
Yeah, well, and Ripken led the league in WAR at 8.2, but Boggs is second on this list with 7.8.
Yeah.
Hmm.
361.
And that's a heck of a season. The home runs is what kills him, I'm sure,
Although 74 RBIs out of the leadoff spot ain't too bad, really.
No, not when you think about being leadoff.
He also walked almost 100 times. I mean, obviously his on base percentage is 444, led the league. Huh. Well, does everybody kind of have an idea what they want to do?
I mean, not really. I mean,
Let me look at.
this is kind of rough.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
God, dang.
Baltimore won 98 games that year.
yeah,
Which I'm not surprised since number 1 and number 2 in the MVP voting played for them.
right. Both play for him.
Huh.
Yeah, let's go to the boards. Shit.
All right. To the boards. Yes would mean that you think Cal Ripken keeps his MVP, and no would mean somebody else, and we'd like you to write down who that somebody else is. All right, I am ready.
Yep.
Yep, I'm good.
I put yes.
I said yes.
Yeah. Just I couldn't come to a different conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still got to have a shout out to Wade Boggs, though.
Yeah, Wade Boggs had himself a hell of a season. But the way I looked at it is, he had a higher batting average and on base percentage, while Ripken, obviously completely destroyed him in the power numbers. But Ripken was playing shortstop, so I kind of gave the nod to Ripken, but it was close. It was very close. And to be honest with you, Eddie Murray also had a really nice season.
It's one of those years where a lot of guys had good years.
Yeah.
Nobody just blew everybody away.
Very true. Very true. All right, on to the NL, which none other than Dale Murphy, somebody else we've talked about on this podcast before, from Atlanta, won the MVP. He did not lead the league in WAR. That was not John Denny actually won the league in WAR, a pitcher.
Who'd you say this is?
Dale Murphy.
Dale Murphy. Okay.
Yeah. He scored 131 runs, had 178 hits, hit 36 home runs, and led the league with 121 RBIs. He stole 30 bases. He hit 302, 393, 540, 933. He led the league in slugging percentage and OPS, by the way.
Nice.
So he led the league in RBIs, slugging percentage, and OPS. Now, that being said, there's some other nice seasons here. Andre Dawson from Montreal at this time had 189 hits, which led the league. Or he scored 104 runs, led the league with 189 hits, hit 32 home runs and 113 RBIs, stole 25 bags, hit 299, 338, 539 for an 877 OPS. None other than Mike Schmidt came in third place. He scored 104 runs at 136 hits, hit 40 home runs, which led the league at 109 RBIs. He had 128 walks, which led the league. He hit 255. That'll be a bummer. He led the league in on-base percentage, though, hitting 255 at 399 and a 524 slug for a 923 OPS. By the way, you lead the league on-base percentage, hitting 250. It's kind of impressive.
Yeah.
Huh. Hey, your boy Jose Cruz is on here, Ray.
Yep.
He led the league in hits.
hits.
Bill Madlock from Pittsburgh won the batting title at 323.
Tim Raines stole 90 bases.
Yes. We did not have a 20-game winner this year. By the way, Lee Smith had 29 saves and went 4-10 with a 1.65 ERA.
God dang. Sucks for him.
That's while he was still with the Cubs. Yeah.
You also have Jesse Orozco, who's 13-7 with a 1.47 ERA and has 17 saves. How do you
what were
win?
the Mets doing with him?
How do you win 13 games and have 17 saves?
And 1.47 ERA is pretty nice.
But he didn't win the ERA title.
Well, yeah. And lead.
I don't know who won the ERA title because it ain't on the Cy Young voting. The ERA title guy ain't on there. John Denny won the Cy Young, by the way, if anybody cares. I don't think the pitchers are up to snuff, though, by the way.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, Ozzy's down there at the bottom of it, Doug.
I saw that. And right above him is an outfielder that I used to really like, Lonnie Smith.
Man, Keith Hernandez is on here, and I just can't. I just can't think of him without thinking of Seinfeld.
Dude, every time.
Yeah.
But me and Keith were supposed to go out tonight.
All right, should we go to the boards, gentlemen?
Yeah.
All right. Well, yes would mean Dale Murphy would keep his MVP, while no would mean he would not, and you need to write down who you think should have won it.
All right, I'm good.
Yep.
I'm good. I said yes again.
I said yes again.
Yep.
So not only were we unanimous, we were unanimous that they both keep it. I don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah.
That's pretty rare, I think. Although it's not because they're like Barry last week where he just like waylaid everybody. It's kind of like there's some guys that have similar stuff, but like I can't make the case to take it away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I use replay rules on this one, and I didn't have conclusive evidence.
That's
to
right.
overturn
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. That's a good way to put it. Well, we appreciate you tuning in for this Houston Astros episode, and we would appreciate you tuning in next week for our San Francisco Giants episode. That ought to be a good one. There's some real all-time greats there. There's some decisions to be made here, gentlemen, for the Giants. But I think I can at least name one guy that should be unanimous. Anyway, we would appreciate you sending us some emails to
Sports the NEMO Way at gmail.com.
You can also rate, review, subscribe, and leave us some comments. Whatever you'd like to do to help us out, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, and shout out to Robert and his dicky fucking Celtics.
That is true. The Celtics won the finals, and Robert emailed in to let us know about it.
Yep. I had to email him back and let him know the real life story.
And thanks for tuning in to Sports the NEMO Way.